Good morning and welcome to episode 3 of Toria's Cozy Toes. I'm Vicky, I'm a knitter and crocheter living in Derby in the United Kingdom, and all the places you can find me are in the description box below. I'm going to start with an apology because this might be a bit bitty, this video. I have been struck down with the dreaded lurgy and may need to stop to cough a few times. I'll try and cut it all out. Also, I want to say Happy Thinking Day to everyone who is involved in Girl Guiding and Girl Scouting, as it is the 22nd of February today, which is the day we celebrate. So, yeah, Happy Thinking Day to everyone. But I'm not going to go into that too much. I'm going to go into where I am with all the knitting. So, yeah, I've got 2 finished objects this week. Shouldn't have been 2. If I hadn't been struck down with allergy and unable to work, it wouldn't have been 2. But they're both from this pattern here. So this is the Serdar, I'll do this side, Country 5840, and it's the beanie hat and gloves. So, first of all, beanie hat. So you've seen it before, here it is. This marker here, move the camera away a bit. See if I can get better, show you a bit more, is where I was last time you saw it, and it's now complete. I have modified it from the pattern a little bit, so you can see. The first modification I did was actually, I made it in the round. Why sew something up? It's ever such an easy modification to do, so that's what I did. It also has a longer rib here than the pattern says, even when I fold it up. Yeah, you can see that it's still quite a lot longer. And also, you can just see the decrease is much more rapid than the pattern. You can actually see a slight colour change between the body of the hat and that, because I did run out of the alpaca, which I thought might happen. But there we go. So, but it's complete, it's done. The reason for the more rapid decrease is I was running out of the main colour as well. This is what I have left. It's less than 5 grams, so I was a bit concerned about putting in some extra rows, and just decided to try and make sure I got it finished rather than anything else. So yeah, this was finished last Sunday, and it's the 3rd of my 12 cast-ons that I've not only cast on since Christmas, but also now finished. Pleased with it. Still not sure what I'm going to do with it. It's probably going to go in the present box for now, and I'll make a decision at some point. My second finished item, well, the last time you saw it, this glove wasn't complete. So this is glove 1. I'd hold it up. It doesn't want to stay up properly. I haven't actually blocked these because I only finished them yesterday. So last time you saw it, this glove didn't have these 2 fingers here, which obviously now does. Again, this is from that pattern. Again, I modified it to make it in the round because I don't like seams in my fingers. Sorry, it's a texture thing. I also made it scrappy because these are the leftovers from my 2023 Bright and Beautiful Advent calendar from Truly Hooked. The main modification I did was I made the cuff a lot longer, and it's actually a double thickness cuff. The reason being, that's me. I drive quite a lot between locations at work and have to wear short sleeves at work. So I do find when I'm driving, my coat tends to ride up and I get cold wrists. So I wanted gloves that would be long enough to cover that. But anyway, that's only a half finished object. No, it's not, because here it's the second one. So they don't quite match because I say each one is a separate colour from the Advent, but I have tried to make them quite closely matching. Yeah, this was started Sunday. When I was feeling rough, didn't have a lot of headspace, certainly couldn't concentrate on knitting and crochet. I did manage to do quite a lot of this because it was just stocking it in the round. or 1x1 ribbon around. The other thing I've done with these gloves is, you can just see it here, that this has got a bit of a fluff to it. I don't know if you can see it. So I've held mohair with the inner cuff. I've also held mohair inside the glove while I was knitting. If you compare the colour brightness between the two, you can see how more muted this is on the inside, as well as being pearl. Obviously, we're a stocking stitch, but it is also more muted, and that's because the mohair's on the inside only. Because I wanted it to just have that little bit more warmth. Because again, if I've got short sleeves on, I need warm hands. I'm getting really cold hands when I'm driving. So yeah, that's the second finished object. Sorry, short pause. So, having done that, oh, the other thing that is very, very nearly finished is the secret knitting. That is actually off my needles, currently blocking. It's still not dry, unfortunately. However, I did talk to the lovely George last week at Chrissy's Crafts, and he has said that given that it's 1st of March to Saturday, it's okay to drop it in then, which is great, because it ain't going to be dry for today. So, yeah. So, on to what else I've been working on this week. As I say, I've had a lot of time where I've been, not had huge amounts of energy, or just not had the capacity to be walking around lots without coughing. So I have actually managed to get quite a lot of crochet done. So I'm going to show you the squares I've completed for the Yorkshire blanket. This is just a little pile here. First couple I showed you complete last time, and this was the first one. I'll show you that, and the inspiration picture it was dyed to. So this was day 19, which is Cum Idal. These are all from the Mouse Switch Yarns Advent Calendar. I just need to know where to put them. And day 20 was also, as I say, these have been blocked now, as you can tell. They are look a lot neater. And this was Snowdonia. The squares are from the Yorkshire Crochet blanket by Meema Makes. So yeah, so this is day 21, which I was working on last time. There's a little picture, and that's from Swallow Falls. Sorry. I've then done day 22, which was inspired by Tenby Harbour. Day 23, which is the Pierhead building in Cardiff Bay. Sorry, I'm looking down because the list of where the places are is down there. Right round. Day 24, so I was checking it was the right way round, which is South Stack Lighthouse in Anglesey, which is actually somewhere I visited last year. Didn't actually go to the lighthouse, got very close, but didn't go over there. My nieces and sister and brother-in-law did. So having done those 6, it was like, that's another quarter done. I then had 6 more patterns to do for the blanket, and knew I had to do 2 of each. However, they are stretching me. I'd have to learn some stitches for those ones. For the next ones, there's a couple that before I started them, I looked at the pattern, read through the pattern, and went, nah, not sure what I'm doing there. But after working through the steps, using the photos, using the pictures that she provided, using stitch guides, I've been able to make them. The first 6 are blocked. The second 4 aren't. Yeah, I've got another 10. So I've got very on with this. But what I've actually done is done the one from Northern Ireland and then the one from Scotland. So the days aren't consecutive as I show you them, but I'm showing them as I've done 2 squares of them. So this is square 7. It goes that way round. So this is the Northern Ireland one, which is the Dark Hedges in County Antrim. And I've also done day 13 in that one, which was this picture, which is the Glenfinnan Viaduct in Scotland. We then have square 8, goes that way, which started using back posts and that treble, which is that one, and that's Carrick-a-Reed, and that's the Northern Ireland one. And we also have it in this one, day 14, the Hebridean Islands. We then have square 9, get this the right way up. This has a very definite top, and you'll see why. So yes, you can just see the Yorkshire Rose there. There is a mistake in this one, but this one is the Giant's Causeway. The mistake in this one is this row of the rows, the second one, should have been double trebles or treble trebles, and I only did standard trebles, and only realised when I was doing the next one here, which is this one, which again you can see it's got that rose on it, and that's the Forth Bridge, because that's the Scotland one. So I then have, now these next ones I say aren't blocked, so don't look as effective. I think will look better once they've been blocked. But we have square 10 here, which is this one, which is the Mourne Mountains, Northern Ireland, and we have it in, so let's say this one really desperately needs a good block. And this is day 16, the Smoo Cave for Scotland. And then yesterday, when I was feeling a bit better, this is one I really looked at and went, I can't do it. I did it. So yeah. This is square 11. You can see it's got its detailing of long. Sorry about that. So square 11, it's got its detailing of these long stitches to make these 3 ridges. And this is day 11 from Northern Ireland, which was Dunlance Castle. And then I also did it in the colour for Scotland. Probably see the ridges better actually in this colourway. And this is Glasgow Central. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased that I've got a load of those done. I've got 2 to go. That's it. 2 to go. My goal is to get those done in the next couple of days. Then it's putting the edging in and joining it. What I've got to edge it is I actually had a bit of a rummage in my stash because it's rather large. At some point I'll show you where it's stored next to me here. I found I'd got 3 balls of this. This is Teddy Cozy Toes sock yarn. I've probably had this, I think I worked out, I finished the project I bought it for in 2015-ish. So I've had it a long time. Basically I had too much then, but black sock yarn is always usable. So I've got 3 balls of it, which is what it says you need to join. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, looking at the really wide range of colours in that advent, I think the black would be a good thing to use. And it gets it out my stash as well, which is always good. Because, yeah, I really do need to get on with my stash decreasing. What else have I been up to? So I have managed to get on with my February socks. You saw that I'd finished the first one last time. The second one, I can get it how I want it. See, we're on the foot, done the leg, we're on the foot. That's the first marker, which is at 20 rows. I'm probably not quite at the next one, but getting there. So yeah, just got the foot to finish on that. I've also got the kiddies ones to do. And we've got 6 days left of February after today. I'm back at work on Monday, so whether I'll get that done, I'm not sure. However, I'm quite happy to take the kiddie ones over into the beginning of March, especially as I'm at the hairdresser on next Saturday and I'll need knitting there, and I don't really want to be opening March's sock yarn before I go at 8 o'clock for an 8 o'clock appointment. There are some things that are just not going to happen. Let's be honest. So yeah, those are the main things I worked on. Last night when I just needed some simpler knitting, I actually didn't pick the sock up. I probably should have picked the sock up, but didn't. So I picked this up instead. This is my sorry. Right, just need to cut that out. Let's try having things ready, shall we? My adaptation of this cardigan, which you may remember was one of my 12 cast-ons. Last time you saw this, I say I'm following the pattern, but I'm adapting it. I've also realised I've cast on too big a size, but last time you saw it, I was just there. I'd done 7 rows of rib, nearly done the 30 for the back. However, as I say, it has come up too big. But what I'm going to do, because, the pattern has you decrease after you've finished the rib before you start the body, I'm just going to decrease some extra stitches to go down a size and then do the fronts that size as well. It is a pattern that actually tells you to start with the fronts, but I decided to start with the back on the basis that once the back's done, that's the biggest chunk done. And then the fronts are a bit easier as well. I may well do those 2 at a time as well. I'm not decided yet. So yeah, that was only picked up last night. So let's get on with that. So yeah, that's the whips I've been working on. I have got another new sort of cast on. I'm not calling it a cast on yet. I haven't started the project yet. Honest, all I've done is swatch. Yeah. So you may remember I said I'd got the Mini a Day Club from, who's it from? I'm looking at it and I can't remember. Cuddle Bumps. That's it. And I was talking about doing mitered squares. So, and I'd got the black yarn on order. So that's the first square I did. So you can see how I've done, just see there I've got 2 rows of black before I've gone into the colour, with the idea that it just breaks the colours up a little bit, which I like. And again, I've got that nice central line on them. So what I wanted to do was make sure that there's 5 grams of yarn. I want to use as much of this 5 grams as I can because I want to shove it off. I want to use it all. I don't want 2 grams left of yarn or a gram left of yarn. So this square here is, I cast on 51 squares. The mitered square pattern is everywhere. I think I picked it up from a friend who taught me it. It's not a paid for pattern or anything. So yeah, I'd started with 51 on this. However, I was left with quite a bit of yarn. I think there's about 0.75 of a gram, which is quite a bit of a 5 gram mini really. So I was like, really, I want my square to use this yarn as well. So I said, okay, well I did 51. Let's try 59. Let's increase it. 4 stitches each side. I did that. I don't have it to show you because I got to decreasing to 51 and weighed my leftover yarn. And unfortunately, there wasn't going to be enough to finish that square. So I stopped, ripped that back and went, let's go halfway, let's go 55. So this is my 55 stitch square, which I'm quite pleased with. One of the things I did do actually was make sure I weighed the minis I was using, just so that if there were some that were a little bit over the 5, I was trying to use the ones that was close to 5 or just under, rather than the ones being over 5. Look, so there's one that's about 5.5, just so that I worked my stitch out. I didn't want to work out on a 5.5 gram square Winnie and then it not work for everything else. So yeah, this does have it's got a longer black tail because it was originally from the 59. That's a tail, but that is not enough of a tail to do 2 more rows. So I'm really pleased with that 55 stitch square. So yes, you can just see it. So that will be my squares. So yes, it's my swatch. It is my first square as well. Let's be honest. The other one will get reknit to be slightly bigger. My plan is to have a sort of a scallop pointy edge of black, and then I will probably edge it at the end. I want 14 triangles across. Obviously, then the row below will be 13, 14, 13, all the way down. I did also go through my stash. I have got about 30 more 5 gram mini skeins from these. Plus, I've also got a 5 gram mini sket that I got from Birthday Bonanza at my Yarn Corner a couple of possibly last year. I can't remember exactly when. Which I may also include in this blanket at the bottom. I'm not 100% sure. So this also goes into my acquisitions because I have got my merino stock yarn in black. I got 6 balls of this. I know I've got the teddy that was in my stash. However, I'd already decided to use that for that before I decided to do this blanket. So I knew I needed more black. And I decided it was better to have all of one for a project than try to split between different makes. However, when I was buying the black, yeah, I got tempted. And I also bought this. It's pinks, it's purples, it's my colours, it's lovely. This is a Ravelry Crazy. And it shows you there how it knits up. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, which I know goes against my mindful, thoughtful yarn buying for projects only, etc. However, I've got 2 potential projects in mind for it. One is to do another mosaic knitting cowl of some sort. I've got 2 or 3 in my wish list on Ravelry. The other one is to do a pair of entrelac fingerless gloves that I have actually done several pairs before, but with the long colour changes on this, it works really well and looks really effective without having to have any yarn changes or anything. So those are my 2 options. I'm not quite sure which way I'm going. I will decide at some point when I come to cast it on. Who knows when that will be, because there's quite a lot of other knitting as well, isn't there? So yeah. So what are my plans over the next couple of weeks? First of all, I want to get the last 2 squares done for the blanket, and then get the last 6 blocked, so that I am ready. As I say, just under 2 weeks now, I'm going away with some friends. We've booked B&B. We've got just having a chilled knitting, crochet, chatting, relaxing time together. And I want to take all the squares and the black yarn and my neck light so that I can do a lot of the edging and joining there. So I know I'm not unlikely to come back with a complete blanket from that weekend, but at least I'll have started and it will give me that impetus to get it finished, because I really would like that finished by the end of March. So yeah, squares finished by the end of February, blanket joined together by the end of March. That's the goal for that project. Sorry about that, but yeah, so yeah, that was the goal for blanket. Obviously, February socks, I'd like the adult ones done by the end of the week. Kiddie ones by the time we go away, so that we go away, I'm onto the March socks. I think that's reasonable. Following that, what am I going to have? I tend to find I have a couple of bags of knitting on the sofa, which are the 2 projects I'm concentrating on at that time. I mean, it changes, I move them around, it varies, but what I like to have is something that's a bit more concentrated and something that's a little bit simpler. So this last week, the more concentrating one has been the crochet. The simpler one was the glove. The sock is my handbag. So the cardigan with the ribbing that I showed you. I haven't showed you all the other yarns again because I showed them last time I showed it. I'll show them again when they're in the cardigan. That's going to be a more simpler project because most of it is stocking stitch. So the plan is that's going to be my more simpler project on the couch. I say the crochet will be until it's finished, which hopefully will be the squares we finish this weekend, and then that will be packed away, ready to go away. But wait, they'll be blocked. And then I've got block tape. What I've done is cut pictures by country, which I've put on Instagram as I've done them. So yeah, block and take the pictures, pack it away, ready to go away. But then my more concentrated, thoughtful project on the sofa, I think, is going to be the Louder cardigan. It's been sitting calling at me from the shelves across there. It is the one that I really want to get on with, but it's been like I haven't got the headspace for 2 challenging projects. And although it's not particularly challenging cables, I have to think about them. I can't just sit and knit on it. Or at least not yet. I might find that once I get into it all and it gets further along, I can. But at the moment, it's when I have to sort of go, which row am I on? Where am I? Which stitch am I doing? A bit more. So yeah, that's why that's got to be a more of a thoughtful one at the moment. So yeah, I think that's what it's going to come out. So yeah, it's going to depend how those 2 cardigans go as to what I take away with me, really. I'll certainly be taking the blanket. I will certainly be taking at least 1, if not 2 other projects with me, as well as the socks. So it's going to be 3 or 4 projects I'll take, because the crochet will probably find that gets to a point where I need a break. I know what I'm like. So then it's where I am on the cardigans, it's whether one of those goes, because some with that is the amount of stuff I have to take. Might take the November Mist gloves. I'm sort of umming and ahhing on that idea, purely because they're a little bit of thoughtfulness with the single cables, but nowhere near like the Louder. So that might be what I take away with me. Looking at what I can enter into the Topping Out Mal, which is run by Mandy at Mousewitch Yarns and Belinda from Belinda's Baubles. They're the only one of the 12 cast-ons left that I started in December. My other 2 December starts are both, well, one is finished and the other's Secret Knitting, which needs finishing touches. It's off the needles, it needs its finishing touches, but it needs to finish blocking first. So they might be the one that goes. Depends where I am with needles. Might also pick up one of the pile of projects from last year. Who knows? Because we know what plans are like, they change all the time. Certainly do not plan on casting. Well, I said I don't want to say don't plan on casting anything on, because I do. I plan on casting March socks on, and that's it. So here now, might change, but there we go. That's my plan. So yeah, I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. It probably won't be at the weekend that I film, because to say that is going to be when I'm enjoying myself, and I'm not going to take everything with me. So it might be the Monday, it might be the Tuesday I film that week. I'm very lucky. I have to take my holiday by the end of March, and because I'd saved some in case I needed to get to appointments and things, I actually have the entire week after the retreat off work as well. So that will help me with finishing some projects. So yeah, plan is to film either Monday, Tuesday. It will depend a bit on when we get back on Monday, because when my filming has light better in the morning. So yeah. So that's all. Hope everyone else stays really well, has a great time, gets on with all the crafting goals they want to achieve, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Bye.